I have the ability to impact positive change and create a society, an educational system, and a nation of workplaces that is inclusive and helps every single individual to raise to their highest potential. There's a movement to create curriculum where students actually see themselves in it, but this needs to be improved on. We honestly need our students to be able to see themselves across the content. They need to be educated in a way where they are learning not only about themselves and their backgrounds, but where they see themselves succeeding, so they see others who are like them succeeding. Because right now we still have an education system that is mostly impacted by white people. And so it's really important that we start to create change there too. You know, we're on a push right now to have more qualified math and science teachers, which is vitally important. But it's also true that no matter what your content knowledge is, if you are not a good classroom leader, if you don't know how to raise every single one of those students up to their highest potential, then you will not have the highest achieving schools. And if we really want to have high achieving students and high achieving schools, then we have to do more than just teach them great content. We have to also know how to individually impact each student so that they can feel and know that they can achieve. It worries me about poverty and the impacts of poverty on education. It breaks my heart that we have such discrepancy between wealthy schools and poor schools in our nation. And even here in Oregon, we've got some issues with education, but it's nothing compared to some states where poverty is brutally affecting the education of students, and they are being severely undereducated and underserved by their school system. As a social change agent, I believe that it is my moral and civic responsibility to advocate for social justice. But social justice is also something that has to be impacted by all of us going into standing for and advocating for those who are other than us, those who are not like us. Because until we stand for and advocate for those who are not like us, we're not really creating positive social change. But when we do that, we impact social change and create social justice that is so broad that people are actually standing for each other. I believe that white people have the power to help eliminate discrimination and racism. I believe it is our moral responsibility to help eliminate discrimination, and if we don't take part in it, then we are not using the power that we have as well as we could. So we do have certain privileges in this nation still, even though we are a shrinking group of people. And if we don't use our privilege to create change, then we're standing by and doing nothing. So if you're not part of the solution, of course, you are part of the problem. I think that there's 5 easy things that we can do to become agents of change. One of them is to admit that discrimination and racism exist in America, to listen to others, to help change our perspective and our point of view, to educate ourselves, to do our part, and look through a new lens so that we can start identifying where change can be made. If I had a magic wand and I could change education today, I would be sure that every single community in America had a qualified school with qualified individuals teaching, compassionate teachers who care about helping each student rise to their highest potential. And I would be sure that no student had to travel so far to go to that better school, that they could actually be educated in their own community at the same level that wealthier people are being educated in their communities. I feel that poverty so negatively impacts our education system today, and if we keep ignoring it and we don't actually change it, then we're going to be a weaker nation because of it. So if there was a study in 1983 called The Nation at Risk, and it's really not showing a whole lot of difference in today, we need to evaluate, are we still a nation at risk when it comes to education then? Because if we are not properly and equitably educating all of the youth in our nation, what kind of a nation are we becoming? We have got to fight that problem first. I see that as the most important challenge that we have in America, is properly and equally educating our students. So if one of the obstacles is that there's people who think that we're not discriminating in education, then we really need to look at the schools and the discrepancy between a wealthy neighborhood school and an impoverished neighborhood school, which most of them are being shut down. Are the students being educated? Are they achieving? What are the dropout rates? There's people building prisons basing the amount of jail cells on the dropout rates in the inner city schools. How can students succeed when they know this is going on? This is common knowledge. We need students who believe that there are people and a nation who want to educate them, who believe that they can be something better than what they think. We need students who rise to their highest potential because they're being told every day that they can achieve, and they're being given the resources that they need to achieve. And they're being put in schools in their own community where educators are compassionate and knowledgeable. Madeline Hunter said that students don't care what we know until they know that we care. And so it is definitely most important that our students know that we care, so that they will begin to listen to what we know, so that they can actually attain the content knowledge that is needed. But so many of our teachers in America are white, and if the students feel like they can't even relate to us because of our skin color, then there's a barrier to break right there. It can be broken, but we need to be compassionate educators. A more powerful, more effective nation cannot happen without the education of every one of our students. We know what the census tells us now, right? We know that the demographics are changing, but I observed student teachers as part of my other work, and I was in 4 classrooms yesterday, and they were all majority brown. Some of them 99% brown, but they all had a white teacher, and a white student teacher, and a white principal. I believe that we as white people have the ability to impact change more than we even know. We can use our privilege to empower ourselves and others to eliminate racism and discrimination by changing our perspective, opening up our view on things, listening to others, listen to those who are not like us, so that we can understand better what their role is and the way that they feel that they have an impact or not on society and on change. We also need to educate ourselves on things like the changing demographics in America and the impact that that's going to have on education and on consumerism and on corporate strength